Hello guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Keisha Ribby, if you did not know before.
My new bitch look like Tyler Berry, but she don't love me, she too scary.
So I am back with another video. Today I will be showing you just a little bit of a prep that I will be doing. I'm getting ready to go on a trip for New Year, so of course there's some things you gotta get in order before you leave. So I bought this sugar wax off of Amazon. So far it has been pretty nice. I used to go to a wax bar located in my area. It's called Pretty Peach. They did a really great job, but I just felt like for me spending $80 to $100 every month is a little bit outrageous, you know? I could be spending that on other things. So I decided to try to do it for myself, and I never looked back. Ladies, if you have not tried waxing before, I definitely recommend you try waxing. Waxing definitely doesn't compare to shaving. Shaving, that's for little kids in high school. If you're a grown woman, you need to be waxing. My opinion, I don't care who else thinks otherwise. And ladies, if you are used to waxing, wax yourself. Do you know, like, it's really not that hard to do. Don't get me wrong, it could be really, like, a little bit uncomfortable trying to get the right angles and stuff for, you know, down there and stuff. But once you wax yourself, at least for that first time, you feel like nobody can say nothing to you. Like, you literally waxed your own. Like, come on. If you have not waxed before, I definitely recommend you waxing. If you do get waxed, I definitely recommend you try waxing yourself. I've used this, I would say probably like 4 to 5 times already, and this is one of the smaller containers, and I still have probably like 3, I would say maybe like 3 more waxes left, and I've only bought it once. Do you know how much money you would have spent on a wax? Wax are usually like maybe $60 or so, and I used to give like a $20 tip each time, so it usually ended up being like $80. But if I got a Brazilian and my underarms, it could have easily been $100, $110 just for a wax. And I think I paid like $30 for this, and I still have it, and I haven't had to pay anybody to do it. So do you hear the savings? Get you some wax. This is sugaring. Sugaring is pretty cool. I like sugaring only because it's a little bit more on the natural side, and it's a little bit easier to not hurt yourself. I have tried to use the waxing strips with hot wax, and when I tell you I peeled my skin off, I peeled at least a layer or 2 of skin off, and it made the area so dark. I'm literally still fixing it. So, and that was probably about maybe a year or 2 ago. Granted, I haven't been consistent with my brightening creams and things of that sort, but it's definitely better than what it used to be. This is a lot more gentler on the skin. I have waxed over the same spot trying to get hairs, and the only thing that it did was make it a little bit irritating, but it never darkened. So if you want something that's a little bit gentler on the skin, I do recommend getting sugar wax. I do know that they say that depending on the thickness or the coarseness of your hair, this may not work for you. But I haven't heard anything wrong with anyone having fine hairs or straight hairs or kinky curly hairs. I have kinky curly, a little bit TMI, but you can see the hair on top of my head to give you a little bit of clue what's. Anyways, I have kinky curly hair, and this grabs everything. For the most part, like, I may have a couple of stray hairs, which is pretty usual. I have tweezers up here that I use to just grab those thicker hairs that are more noticeable. And for the ones that are super fine and you can't really see, if you want to get rid of them, you can, but they don't usually get any darker. They pretty much just stay the same fine. So I do recommend trying sugar wax if you're more comfortable. They have the roll-on wax sticks and use the strips. You can try those. They have the pot where you get the little beads. You can try those with the strips, or they have the beads where you don't need any strips at all. Just wait for it to get a little bit hard, and you take the wax off that way. The only con that I would say for this sugar wax is you have to have your hands oiled, but they can't be too oily or else the wax doesn't stick to your skin. If you don't put enough oil, the wax sticks to your fingers and you can't exactly wax yourself because it just turns into a sticky, gooey mess. If you have it too hot, it's hot. But if you have it too hot, it doesn't stick properly. It kind of just stays. And if it's not warm enough, then it doesn't glide on as easy. So it is, you do have to play around with it just a little bit, just to find the right temperature and the right amount of oil lubrication on your hands to make sure that it kind of like glides without mixing with the sugar and just turning into like, it doesn't get hard, but it just doesn't stick to your hair. But other than that, I do love this. I do plan on buying the bigger container. I think the bigger container is like $45 to $50. I think I might have got this for $25. I'm gonna look through my Amazon purchase list history so I can tag this below, just in case if you want to try this brand or see what other sugar waxing brands there are out there. But this is the one that I've tried. I saw this on TikTok. A woman, she said that she waxes herself and her husband with this and they haven't had any issues. I haven't really had any issues. As long as you maintain your aftercare, you won't see any ingrown hairs. Sometimes I get a little bit lazy and I do, and sometimes those ingrown hairs can cause scarring, but for the most part you just need some tweezers. I do recommend getting a pair of skinny tweezers like these, or even skinnier. They do have some that are smaller than these, so that when you do have an ingrown hair, you can just go ahead. I recommend getting the super skinny ones. They do have ingrown hair tweezers specifically for ingrown hairs. I do recommend getting one of those. It does help with going ahead and getting into the root of the problem, scooping it right out. Sometimes the whole hair comes out, and sometimes you have just the circle of hair that kind of got wound up underneath the skin that comes out. You just take the tweezer. Irritation, redness, and for the most part you don't get scarring as long as you don't manipulate the area too much. I do recommend using this. So I recently purchased the high roller topicals. This is specifically for ingrown hairs. It does have, I believe, niacinamide in it to help with any dark marks that you may get from your waxing or from your shaving. I do like this one. It does not cause peeling as other ingrown hair roll-ons do. So this has salicylic acid, glycolic acid, niacinamide, and zinc PCA. I really like this one. This is the one that I use all the time over all the other ones. And then I have the 10 Skin Solution. This one is also very nice as well. It has a very strong alcohol scent, but it does help with your ingrown hairs. I would say this one, I kind of like them both together. This one does cause peeling, so I would say if you shave, it's probably best to use this one just because it's more drying, and your hair have a better time getting out of dry skin than moisturized skin. So I do recommend this one. This one helps a lot with peeling, so if you do have any dark marks or shaded skin, this will definitely help with peeling that layer off so then you have new skin. Now, one that I don't recommend, and I know it's all over YouTube, I don't recommend this one at all. This one is literally hidden because I hate it and I want to throw it away, but I just haven't. PFB Vanish Plus Chroma Bright. Now, I have tried the regular PFB Vanish and I've tried the Chroma Bright one. Both of them have made everything worse. I had shaved while I was younger and I didn't know what I was doing, so I did make dark marks, but I did find this. I heard that it did amazing work, so I bought it off eBay, and I believe the first time I bought it off of Amazon. Either or is fine, but this stuff is so strong. It is so strong. One, it burns. If you do this like right after shaving, it burns. This one burns as well. This one does not burn as much. It has like a very mild burn, but if you were to do either of these right after shaving, it's going to burn without a doubt. Now, I don't recommend putting either of these on right after a wax. It should be at least 2 to 3 days after you wax to put any of these on. Some people can use this, some people love it, they have no issues, they have amazing results. This did nothing but burn me, and it made everything worse. So if you do want to try this, I definitely recommend doing a spot test before you just go ahead and apply it all over. This is Skin Brightening Ingrown Hair Relief Wax Razor Bumps Cool Blue Roll-On for men and women. Be careful with this. I believe this is about like $36 to $40. If you do want to try it, don't get me wrong, a lot of people have had a lot of great results from this. I'm not knocking the brand at all. Everyone's skin sensitivity is different. It's just too strong for mine. So we'll say that for that. If you do get any ingrown hairs and it turns into like a ingrown hair pimple or something, after you've extracted the hair and you've cleansed the area, I do recommend, now I did get this from The Ordinary, but I'm sure there might be other or better retinols, but try using some retinol on the area maybe like a day or two after the wound itself has closed up and sealed. This helps to renew skin cells, so this will pretty much help to heal the area a little bit quicker. Some people like to use tea tree oil down there. Spot test. Some things might make things worse for you. I can't use tea tree oil. I can't use it anywhere. My face, anywhere. My body just does not like it. Another thing that you can use if you have any ingrown hair scarring or like ingrown hair spots, you can use glycolic acid. This helps to kind of renew the skin, I believe. I've seen that this helps with renewing skin and also helping to fade dark spots. So if you want to try this out. Some people like to put it on a cotton pad and rub it that way. I think it's just wasting products when you put stuff on cotton pads. Just put it in your hand and put it where you're gonna put it. I also put this underneath my arms. I don't do it right after a wax. It burns. I usually use this probably maybe like 2 to 3 days after my first wax. And this also helps with your odor underneath your arms. I don't know how, but when I use this, granted, I moved over to using organic products for my deodorant. You know, this is completely off topic, but I use this deodorant. It is completely 100% natural. When I use this and then I put this over top, no odors at all. Now, you do have to have somewhat of a clean diet. It all depends on what you eat for what you're going to smell like, what your perspiration is going to smell like. I don't consume junk food. I barely eat meats. Anything that I do eat is for the most part pretty clean. Only thing I really drink is fruit juice and water. So anything that I perspire, don't get me wrong, I still do have somewhat of an odor, but it isn't like musty. I'm gonna go ahead and warm up this wax, and I'm gonna show you how I use it underneath my arms, and I'm gonna go off camera and finish off. Okay, so I have warmed my wax. It's just a little bit too hot, so I gotta let it cool for a little bit. I did get some oil in a little bowl, and then I have some paper towels so that once the wax is no longer usable, I have something to put it on to throw it in the garbage. I'm just gonna get a little bit of oil, rub it on my hands. You want to make sure you rub it all over because wax gets everywhere. So you also want to make sure that your underarms are clean. There aren't any residue from your deodorant or anything on it. So I'm just gonna wipe it off with a baby wipe. Gonna let those dry. Guys, I got a fan. I know one of my makeup videos, I was fanning myself. I think both of my makeup videos, I was fanning myself with a piece of mail. And I think I told you guys that I usually use my brother's face. He has like this, I don't know, a printout of his face for our graduation. And I would always use his face to like fan me off when I sprayed my face with setting spray. And I'm like, I need to get a fan because this is just, it's ghetto and tacky. So I got a fan. I got this from the Dollar Tree. It's so cute. Her hair is wet, then the wax isn't gonna stick to it. It's just gonna slide around. So the wax isn't moving as fast. So I think it might be ready. This stuff is stuck. I'm gonna try the gloves. Do you see that? Bulbs, baby. Okay, so now that my underarms have been waxed, they are almost completely hair free. I have a couple of stragglers that just won't come out. But yeah, it's just as easy as that. I think I'm going to continue to use gloves instead of my fingers, because when you do waxing and you just do your regular fingers, the more you like keep pulling and tugging different areas, it kind of makes this part of your fingers sensitive. So I do recommend using gloves. Even though the instructions say to use gloves, I never did until today, and I see why they say to use gloves. So I am going to finish waxing and I'll see you guys later.